Today we're doing a feature on catching big carp down the edge at Hallcroft Fisheries in Retford. As probably most of you are aware, I'm a Retford guy. I was born and bred here, lived here all my life. But this place is where I started my carp fishing. This is where it all begun for me some 30 years ago. I've always been a guy that wanted to fish a big fish, even when I was fishing my coarse fish matches. I've always liked to fish for fish that like to pull back, whether it be a big bream, whether it be a carp or a tench. I've always loved that. Don't get me wrong, roach are my favourite fish, but this is what I like to do. This is what I grew up doing. Now, originally this place was full of roach and skimmers and hybrids, and introduced carp slowly and steady to where it became a premier carp fishery in the UK. It's a big water with big fish. Fish grow really big in here, 20 pound plus, and they live in the edges. It's got shallow water close in. There's not 4 foot and 5 foot, it's shallow water, so they always tend to come in the evening. So that's what we're doing today. We're talking about catching these big fish down the edges with the pole. Primarily trying to catch the really big fish, trying to keep things really simple, fishing strong but not stupid gear. Now, when I say strong but not stupid, my elastic's not really strong. It's only a 14s elastic, but my main line is a 20. An 020, and I'm fishing a 14, a really big strong hook that's not going to let me down. Now, the reason I don't use strong elastics is some of these fish in here go a bit. It's shallow water in the edge, and when they decide to shoot off, if you're fishing really strong, powerful elastic, something will give. So it's about protecting the equipment that you're using, and you'll still get your fishing. And at the end of the day, we're here fishing, we're not here catching. We're trying to catch fish and enjoy a sport as well as catch a good weight of fish. So we'll start at the business end. For me, that's your pole. I'm fishing with a Garbolino Evo, UK1 Evo today. It will not let you down. It's strong, it's light, and it's powerful enough for this type of fishing. With the type of elastic I'm doing, it's balancing it up right. Now down to my top kit. My top kit's a Power Carp top kit, and the elastic running through it is Bazoo Carp 12 to 16 lime green. It's quite a powerful one, but it's got plenty of give in it. So it's always going to keep you in control with your fish, but it's going to have plenty of power to bring them back towards you. So it's a big, strong elastic. Now, I'm not fishing too stupid elastic for the simple reason I'm fishing on a match pole as well. From that, I'm fishing with Fluoro Power Carp line, an 020. Now my float is a DC CO2. It's a strong, purposely built for fishing that edge with a big thick bristle and a wire connector on the top to pull your line through so it don't pull any eyes out or anything like that. It's a really strong float, designed for fishing down the edge. Short and stubby bristle, short body, but it takes 0.3 or 0.4 of a gram. It's really heavy to keep your bait where you want it to be in one place. You don't want it wafting about with these big carpers that are coming in 2s and 3s and foul looking one, because they are seriously big in here. Now, we'll talk about shotting these floats out on this type of rig for fishing close in. I'm fishing a 0.4, so I've got all my bulk close together, only probably 3 or 4 inches away from my hook. You don't want to be striking at line bites. Sometimes it's inevitable because the fish just keep going and pull the elastic out, but you want to be waiting for a positive bite that pulls it under and is not wafting about and catching on fins of fish. So I'm fishing quite direct, quite heavy, and trying to nail it to the bottom and just leave a small amount of line to move about. Now down to bait. Really cheap, really easy, really simple to do. 2 tins of meat, 2 tins of corn, as simple as that. Cut with a big meat cutter if you've got one, a 10mm meat cutter so it's big and not going to be blown about. My fishery pellets, quite simple, micro, soaked, really easy and simple. Just a bag of micro pellets soaked up, mix them all together and put them in. I put 3 in to start me off, and then after every 1 or 2 fish, give them another pot. One of the secrets of catching fish down the edge is knowing when to feed again. Sometimes after every fish, you have to feed. Sometimes you can get away with 2 or 3. It's down to suck it and see. But quite often, once you start catching, you get 2 or 3 minutes without any indications, put another pot in, or maybe 2 pots. Even tap the top with your pot, give it a good boshing in, so fish think it's more food going in, and it'll bring them straight to you. Now we're down to plumbing up. Now if this was a match today, one thing you don't want to be is sat on your box, get your rig out, put it on, and go down 6 or 8 metres down your side, and it's this deep. And then you go another 3 metres and it's still that deep. I'm looking for a reasonable depth of 18 inch in this place. So what I do is, first thing I do is get my landing net handle out, put my head on, without my head on, walk down and just try and find a nice clear bit with that before I start. Then I go on my box and then I plumb up and look for my 18 inch to 2 foot. So I'm not getting fouled up in places where there's bits of wood, there's branches, there's underwater obstructions that you can't see. So I'm just going down having a feel. Then I plumb up and have a good plumb about with a big plummet to see if there's any drop-offs. Because last thing you want to be doing is feeding it on a shallow peg that's 18 inches deep, and 3 or 4 inches away it drops off really quickly. You don't want that. You want a nice, even, flat space to catch your fish on. For this type of fishing, especially in here where you can catch 8 fish for 120, 130 pounds, you need a big net. You don't want, in a match competition, what you don't want to be doing is trying to shuffle fish into your net. You want to be able to get them in straight away, quickly and easy. So amount of times I see people with a small net trying to shuffle a 10 pounder in. Yes, they nearly always get them out. But there's lots of times when they're teetering on the edge and swim off again and have another go. So now you've got another 10-minute battle to get it back where you want it. Have a big net to get them in quickly. Yes, they take a bit more getting out and unhooking in your net because there's more room for them to move about, but trap them between your legs. Use your knees, trap them between your legs till you get the hook out, nice and safe and secure. Don't let them bang on bottom, and then tip them in your net. Really simple, really easy, but you'll get them in a lot quicker with a big net. So now we've fed up, we've put all this bait in, we're going out for a first drop in. We've got our maggots on, so we ship out, lower it in, don't lay it out, lower it straight down the hole. Then you're not going to lay it across one of them backs of one of them big fish that's there straight away, him spook off and he's going to hook you. Just lay it straight in. Now, there's another thing that we do quite often. Some people know, some people do it and don't know what they're doing. We call it the Belingi bounce. It started many years ago down at Whiteacres, where you lower it in, you lift it up and just lower it slowly down. People do it out, but very few people do it when they're fishing down the edge. If you've got one carp in your peg and it sees that bait in front of it, as it lowers down, it entices them into taking it. So remember the Belingi bounce. It works everywhere and it especially works here. So now we've hooked this fish. We're going to play it. Now, last thing you want to be doing is trying to pull its head off. You've got to give it some respect because these fish sometimes in here fool you into thinking they're small fish. So just give it a second or two, see which direction it's going and give it an angle. What I mean by an angle, you don't want your pole facing straight at your elastic straight out. You want to give it an angle so you can keep an idea where it's going, but keep your pole moving. Don't keep it steady. You need to walk it. You're walking a big dog. So you just pull him around nice and gently, follow your elastic round and slowly bring it back. When you come to break off to land, grab your puller and straight away ease some elastic out and wait and feel. You can actually feel. If it's pulling, stop doing. Let him come back to you. As he starts to come back, ease some more elastic out, but keep your pole tip low down wherever possible. And at the very last minute, as he's in the side, wait for him. Just wait for him to give up a little bit and then lift him and hopefully you'll have him first time. Not always, but quite often you can get him first time like that because you don't know which way to go, what's happening to him. You've caught him off guard. So just remember, don't pull too quick, don't pull too hard, but keep a nice steady even pull on him. Keep him moving and keep him coming towards you. There we are, folks. That's edge fishing for you. Really simple, really easy, really cheap, but very rewarding. Now, for any of this tackle that anybody's interested in trying or having a play with, or even buying or purchasing, go down to your local Garbolino stockies, the UK, UKY.